Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Pacific Inlet here on Farming Simulator 17. I am just kickstarting this one again. Here we go, we want to just sort of raise that one up a bit and lower it down just a tiny bit there. And let that one go, and then line it up, and we're away. We can carry right on where we left off in the last episode. It shouldn't take us very much longer at all now. We've got just a few left, and then we're going to get the cultivator going. And I'm still not quite sure what sort of cultivator I'm going to use. I also haven't yet gone and got a fence mod, and it was suggested that I should use a fence mod on this one because it would work really well and it would stop any hired help from driving off into the lake. Yes, I absolutely agree. That would be an excellent idea. So we'll probably do that. Not sure when we'll do that, whether I'll sort of leave that for a little bit. I need to lift that up a bit, don't I? See, I can lift it right up to there for some of this. But then if I have it up too high, it causes problems in other places. So you have to be a little bit careful what you're doing with this thing, but apparently. Lower it down a little bit there. That seems to be doing all right. We've got the odd stump here that we still want to go through. We've got through most of it now. There's not that many stumps over on that bit. I think kind of the bulk of the trees were more towards the middle, I think, rather than off to the edge. But we still got a few that we want to go through. And I'm hoping that we'll have gotten everything done on our first round. And then on our first sort of trip through this. I'll lower that down a little bit. See, that's why we need to keep it down a bit, is because then it gets the stumps a bit better. At least that's the plan. In theory, it should get the stumps a bit better. There we go. So, yeah, cultivator. I'm not going to go with the very smallest cultivator because I think we can afford to go a little step up from that. But we've got $158,000. We've got nothing that is going to provide us with income to go higher than that other than a little bit of wood chips. We've got a stack of wood chips that we will be able to use. We could do something with that. But we don't want to count on that too much, I don't think, because just in case we don't get a great demand for a while, in which case those wood chips are not worth a great deal. They're not worth very much money at all. So we've got... what are we going to want? Let's have a think about this. What is that there? That's another piece of timber. We want to grab that in a minute. I'll try and get that and try and stuff it into the front. You up. There. I'll put you in there. Yeah, that actually did chop it all up. Mashed it into little tiny pieces. Fantastic. We're going to want a cultivator. We're going to want a seed drill. We're going to want a fertilizer spreader of some kind. We're going to want... actually, what else are we going to want? I want to just get that... there we go, I've got that bit now. Yeah, so a fertilizer spreader. Now, the fertilizer spreader is actually really cheap, so we don't need to worry about that too much. We're going to need seed and fertilizer. Those are fairly cheap. We're going to want a mower. We're going to want a rake. We're going to want a baler. And we're going to want a wrapper. We're not allowed to lease anything at all. So if we are unable to afford the wrapper, we're going to need to be able to afford a hay turner instead, so that we can make bales of hay. Not as profitable as making silage, but we'd still be able to make a bit of money out of it. So we've got one of two choices, really. We can make hay or we can make silage in order to make some money. We could gather it up, and rather than baling it, we could take it over to the BGA, but I think that would be more time-consuming than just turning it into bales and stuff. So what we'll do, we've now finished that great big section there. We've got a little bit left to do. Once we've done this, we're going to the shop and we're going to splurge. Going to be our next thing that we're going to do. We're going to splurge out on some new machinery. I'm going to buy everything that we're going to need for our little project. We're going to want to make sure we've got everything lined up. Cultivator, fertilizer spreader, seed drill. Those things are going to go first, and then once we've got those, we then need to look at the mower, the rake, and the baler and the wrapper. Now, I'm thinking we'll take a look at the price of the wrapper. I'm not sure what that one is. and the baler, I got a feeling that those are probably the most expensive parts of this entire outfit that I'm looking to get. And they may end up being the bits that cause us the most problems. Right, I just want to come around there so I can get that little bit of floating timber. There we go. Go on up here again. There's another stump there that we want to go through. So yeah, the wrapper and the round baler are probably the most expensive parts. We're not getting the square bales because they would be more expensive, although if we're not well, I'm thinking actually BGA silage if we can't do round bale silage, because I think that silage would end up being more profitable than trying to make bales of hay. Even if we did square bales, which would be quicker to pick up. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, to be honest. Not sure which would be kind of our best course of action. Right, let's bring that one in there. Take that stump out. There we go. Back you round again and head up this way. Get that one out. 158,000. Even if because I think the wrapper is probably the most expensive part. Even if the wrapper is 50,000 euros, which I don't think it is, should still be able to afford everything, because I'm pretty sure the baler itself is not very expensive at all. And it is, in fact, the wrapper that is the most expensive part. We'll have a look. We'll see. I really want to look now, but I do and I don't. I want to have a look because I really want to know, but I just want to get this job finished. If we can hurry up and get this done very, very quickly, because we have not got much left to do now. We are very nearly almost finished now. Bring that round there. I'm going to have to sort of shunt round a little bit doing some of this now. Bring you up there. Like that. And then start heading up this way. So we've got a couple of stumps in there. We'll probably soon start actually just physically counting up the stumps that we got left. I don't think it's going to be much more before we're actually completely done and we don't need to worry about this anymore. That one tried to chop a little bit, so I'll just take that one out quickly. There we go. He says, taking half of it and leaving the other half. There we go. And back through again. Yeah. So what would be the other sort of money earner? I mean, we all know that silage over there is really good. We could do corn, but then of course you've got to get something, corn, maize, whatever you want to call it. You then got to get a harvester, and that is the expensive bit. There is, of course, the tractor-mounted harvester, which we could use, but I don't really want to do that because that is a seriously time-consuming thing to do, and I don't particularly like the machine anyway. That's not really one that I want to get involved with. I'd rather not do that at all. The other corn, of course, then you've got to use the self-propelled forage harvester, and that is very expensive. So grass is kind of a thing for earning a bit of early money. If we are to be able to grow some crops, we've still got to buy a combine. Now, we do have a cheap combine or two that is now available to us. We've got the Sampo Rosenlu, and there's a New Holland one as well. But those are over 100,000 a piece. But there is the second-hand one that turned up with the new DLC, with the Platinum Edition. There's that combine there. I don't know how much that one is. That might be the one for the job. That might be the bit that kind of does it, and then we could use that one for doing our combine. For some reason I'm not... There we go. There we go. It wasn't, lining up properly. Quite sure why. Still. Going now, that's the main thing. We've got one stump. I'm going to get that stump a minute. Bring that back round there. We'll take all of that one out. So there's that one taken care of, and then this obviously is one less that we've got to do on the return journey. Sometimes it does take ages. Sometimes stumps are almost instant, and other times they just won't go, will they? There we go. Right. Finally got it. Now I can line up again, and we're off once more. So I've got a few stumps now on the left-hand side of the tractor that we missed the first time that we came up through. It shouldn't be too difficult to take those out. We're going to take that one out, and then we go on, and there's another one that was only 2. I honestly thought that there were 3 that we'd left behind, but no, we've only left 2 behind. That's a bit quicker. Everything now, I just want to get this job done. That's what I want. I want to just get the ploughing done so that we're on to the cultivating. And the cultivating is going to be faster. We're going to have something that is bigger than a 3 meter. We're going to be taking a look at the other machinery first, like I said, and then we can sort of see what we do after that. The joy of what we're doing here with, like, making, carving our own farm is that we're not going to... I'm kind of wanting to, for this series, just to see if we're able to actually do, like, get the grass done and do a crop as well. I don't know if we'll be able to get a crop done in time or not. Right, a little bit better. I've had a drink. It should be slightly less croaky now. Yeah, we are sort of on a limited time. I know that. I knew that when we first started this series. Like I've said several times now, this was really just a test run to see what people would think of it, because I get asked so often to do more Farming Simulator. I thought, well, if I'm going to, like I said, if I'm going to do it, I need to do something a bit different to what I'm doing elsewhere, and this is a bit different. So I'm hoping, I'm sort of, well, I say I'm hoping, I'm thinking that, obviously with more stuff that we do in the future, we'll be able to do it slightly differently. We can do a crop, but then we can go and do a little bit more wood cutting, and we can work on that for a little bit, and then we go back and we do more, we do some more cropping, and then we do some more wood cutting, and we can cut between the two. We're not constantly having to do just the same thing all the time. Obviously, the first time, you've got to clear your first field. That's the most time-consuming part. It's clearing your first field, and that's the least variation in gameplay. But then you start to get more variation in the gameplay and so on and so forth. Also, this really is also a chance, because I know several of you said you like just listening to anything that I happen to be rambling on about on the day. So I'm always open to suggestions. You can like put a topic of conversation for me in the comment section, and I can then ramble on aimlessly about that in the following week's recordings, because I do record all of these episodes before you see the first one each week, and that'll continue to happen in FS19 as well. I will be recording all episodes each week before you see the next one, but that doesn't mean to say I'm not open to doing some new stuff. That doesn't mean I'm not open to, like, you tell me in the comment section one week, I will probably remember most of what you suggest, and then I can talk about that kind of thing in the following week. Mostly, though, you want me to talk about FS19. I talked a lot about FS19 in yesterday's episode. I also talked a lot about what I thought might be coming out for the big FS19 expansion halfway through the release of it. Obviously we had sugarcane this time around. I don't remember what was actually added into FS15 when the gold expansion came out. I know we had the expansion. I just don't remember what was included with it. I think it was the Holmer stuff, wasn't it? I think that was it. But I don't remember what else was there. So I've kind of forgotten about that one. But we know that there is expansions that are released, and so I talked about that a lot yesterday, so I'm not going to worry about it today. Today, mostly I was just going to talk about what I'm doing here, and maybe we can talk some more about FS19, about what we think is going to happen to start with. It's the whole building the farm thing that I'm most intrigued about. How do you do it? It says like the hard mode, where you start with nothing, and then you sort of work your way through it. I've deliberately not read all of the, because I was thinking of doing like a whole load of videos where I go through and I analyze all of the data that's come out, and we talk about it and so on. I did do a video where I looked at one of them, but then I thought, well, I don't know, everybody else is already doing that, and we've got lots of those videos out, and yeah, they're all right, but to be honest, it's not the type of video that I enjoy making all that much, and there's loads of other people doing it. I do talk about FS19 a lot in my regular gameplay anyway, so I thought, well, I probably won't do very much. I may do one or two more, But also, in part, I've not read most of the dev blogs, actually. And yeah, I know, it may seem a little bit odd. I'm a YouTuber, I'm supposed to be keeping up with all this stuff. But I've deliberately not been reading quite a number of the dev blogs. I've looked at the fact sheets, the dev blogs that they released about, like, doing the missions and stuff like that. I haven't read them all. I've deliberately not read them all because I wanted to kind of leave it as a bit of a surprise for when I first get into the game. So it's going to be all new stuff to me, and you know, it adds to my personal level of excitement with it, which I think is quite an important thing. You know, we do have to have that element of surprise and enjoyment with it as well, and so that's why I haven't actually read all of the dev blogs yet. I know that a lot of, well, I say a lot of you, I know that some of you would really like me to have been doing more content about it and like going over and giving my opinions on it, and I do apologise for that. I can appreciate that you do want me to do it and you do want to hear my opinions on the subject, but I also hope that you can understand why I've chosen not to. I'll probably do at least 1 or 2 more videos of it. Maybe 1. I honestly don't know at this point. I keep telling you I'm going to do another Q&A video, and I still haven't gotten around to doing that one yet. I got distracted last week because there was a new game that came out called it was The Colonists, which is basically about robots going off and colonizing space, and it very, very reminiscent. Right, I'm going to turn off Allow Create Fields. I'm going to take up the plow bit. I'm going to turn that one off. Raise that right up like that, and we're off. We're done. We're done. Switch off the GPS mod. So the Colonists is basically robots going off into space, emulating humans, but not wanting to be enslaved by humans, and it looked fantastic, and it was absolutely brilliant. It was a lot of fun to play, and I don't regret making a video on that one at all. But see, I got distracted by that, so I wasn't then able to go and do the other stuff. I think we're going to use the Ford to do our cultivating as well. It's a beautiful machine for doing the job that we've done. Let's switch. You know what? Maybe we should use the... I think we will. I think we'll use the JCB, because this Ford, whilst it's great, it is also a little bit noisy. So maybe we could have something that's slightly less noisy, just for this next task, at least. So we'll drop you down there. We don't need that obscene power that we get from that Ford. I mean, part of it's not all, because, you know, you got that big bonnet on it, and so it makes it look more powerful. It's actually the fuel tank that's on the front of the engine. That, you know, you got that extra weight on there, which does help various different jobs, but it also, helping to keep it down. It also makes it look more powerful than it actually is. So some of it is just for show. It's not actually as powerful as you think it is. Which I think is quite amusing, actually. That does amuse me about the Ford there. Let's just bring you back over here and stop there. Forward a bit, back a bit, forward a bit, and back a bit. There we go. Lower you down there. And just cultivating. I think we could probably do the front weight. Actually, that's going to help us with the front weight. It'll keep things down on the ground a bit. So we'll bring you over this way. And a little bit of speed. Right. Let's stop you a second, and we're going to go to the shop. Right then. Time to go shopping. I like shopping. I don't, actually. I hate shopping. I despise shopping. I really, really do. 42,000 for that, and good gravy, man. It's 100,000 for those two, which are kind of important for gathering up all of these bales. I do have another round baler. Actually, I've got several round balers. That's still 42,000. That one just wraps faster, and it gives you the choice of wrap. So that's going to leave us with 58,000. That one's 56. That's more. No, actually, that's less. That's 2,000 less. That one's 58. That one there is 12. But that almost feels like cheating using this old Massey Ferguson pack at 12,000. It really does. That one's 59. That one's 56. See, these are all of a similar price. And then you got these down here at 12,000. So they're a lot less. 52 for that one. That one's 58. So yeah, using the one for 12,000 really does feel like cheating. That one there's 81,000. No. I'm going to veto that one straight away. No, we don't want any of those. And then we're down to 58. So it looks like our cheapest option is going to be... Where is it? 56 for that one. Laley one. I am choosing to ignore that one at 12,000. It doesn't feel right using the one at 12,000. Right? It kind of removes everything resembling challenge. So we want one of the ones for 56,000. And then we've got 42,000 there. So that's the bales. What about the rake? How much is the rake? We can get by without using the rake if we've got to. That's not in here. That would be under rakes, which would be windrowers right here. 9,000. 28 there if we go up, but you know, we're already used up 100,000. So there's 109 if we take the rake as well. Mowers. And then that's 17 for the disc bine, which is the one that I wanted. 17. So that was 109. That makes 116, 126. We're running out of money. We might end up having to use one of those. 9,000 there. That one is 3 meters. That one's 3 meters. That one's 4 meters. These are getting very expensive. Let's go back over this way. What have we got in the way of mods? Must have something that's a bit cheaper. That one there, 2.5 meters. It's very cheap. It is very, very cheap. It's 3 meters. That was 3. What about one of these? 2.2. No. No, 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 no. 52,000. No. I haven't got anything that is cheap. I got that, but I think you need that one to go with it. That one there I could just take, but there's 52 grand. What about you? Seed combination for use after plow, not for use after harvesting. No. The cockling right there, 14,000. Kvarnland there, that's a front-mounted one, isn't it? I think that's a front, that's only 3 meters though. That's 4 meters at 14,000. It's 10,000. Ooh, 4 meters there at 12,000. It's a bit more like it. The agromet, that's 6 meters there. Takes a that does have quite a horsepower requirement. And we got this, no, that's 36. Right, we are a bit limited on, so really, no, it's that one. No. Oh, hang on, no. That one's too expensive. This one here, this one, the Metal Fac U741, 12,200, 4 meters. I think that's the one that we want. We'll buy that one without hydro pack. What's a hydro pack? There's 5,000. That's all we need to know. It's 5,000, so we don't want it. There. So there's our first one. We've got the cultivator. We need a fertilizer spreader. We've got to have a fertilizer spreader. So let's go to fertilizer. Next. Fertilizer spreader right there. The Kvarnland right there is 6,300. That is the one that we want. I'm not going... See, these old Massey Ferguson ones, I don't know. It just feels a bit cheaty. Because they're so much cheaper than everything else, it really does feel like it's cheating. And I don't really like that, so we can't do it. So we'll take that out there. That's the fertilizer. Seed drill next. Where are we? Sowing machine right there. And so we've got this one here requires 7. That's just 8,000 there. The Amazon there is a row crop planter. And then we've got the Great Plains. That's 15,000. That's 21. That's a row crop. That's a potato planter. So the Great Plains one there is 15 grand. That's a bit expensive. This one here, 8,000. That's only 3 meters. This one here is only 3 meters. So really, it doesn't matter which one of those I take. So it would be the Kvarnland that we'd want there, unless we can find something that's a little bit wider. These, too expensive. Way, way too expensive. We cannot afford it. But, like, we got the Modern Classics one here. That's still 3 meters, and that only takes 500 liters. So, again, 6,940 for the Modern Classics. That's 8,200. Might be a little bit better, because it's 750 liters. The price, the width is the same. But, yeah. What about this one? The Amazon Super, that's 3. That's 11,000. That's 4 meters there. Maybe that's the one that we should go for. That's 11,000. A Coon there, 8,300. That's only 3 meters. This one, 4,000. That's 4 meters, 4,000. Now, that one we could do. It's only 500 liters as well. Right, now that's the sort of seed drill that we could actually work with. All right, we'll go for it with that one. So standard with warning, no, that's extra. So 4,600 for that one. It's only got 500 liters in it, so it's going to be quite time-consuming going backwards and forwards, having to constantly refill. But that will do the job. So what have we got so far? We've got cultivation, we've got fertilization, and we've got seed drills. We need to get some seed, and we're going to want some fertilizer as well. So we're going to want one of those. Yep, and one of those. Yep. I don't know if I want 2 of them. I don't think I do. The amount of land that we've got to cover, I don't think we need. So that then leaves us with the mower next. We've got to get the mower. I'm going to look in here. Now, I was thinking the disc bine. That is a 4-meter mower, so it shouldn't take too long to do the mowing. 17,000. The other option, of course, would be to spend 20,000 on that one and that one combined to have 6 meters. But I don't think it would be worth it. So I think we'll go with this one right here, and we'll try that. That's only 9,000, though. It's only 3 meters, though. 3 meters is not very wide. Maybe we should seriously... Well, do we go with the disc bine or that one? Let's wait a minute. Before we commit to that one, we'll see what money we've got. The pottinger, we're going to need this one. Right? The rake, sorry, not the pottinger. The rake, we're going to need that one because... the hay bob there is only 1.2 meters. These are too expensive. So we'll go with that one at 4.6 meters. And buy that one. So it's 9,000. And then we come out of here. So that's the rake. We then want the wrapper and the baler, which we can afford. We do have the money to get this. So we want to go over to here. We want to get the wrapper first. I'm going with this one purely because I've actually edited this one to wrap a bit faster. And it'll do black wrap as well, which I quite like the idea of. So we're going to do black wrap on that one. And we're going to buy that for $42,000. And then we come back and we need a baler next, which is... That one's 56. That one's only 12, but no, I've already vetoed that one because it's 12. It's too cheap. It doesn't feel like it would be right. It feels a bit like... Kind of like I'll be cheating on there. That one's 56, the Coon one there. And... Oh, the Verimaster, 52,000. We'll take the Deutz Verimaster. That's the one we're going to take. Buy that one at 52 grand. There, so that leaves us 29. Right, with 29,000 left. These trailers here, these are auto-load trailers. I can get that smallest one there for 9,000. I'm going to buy that one. Design the ladders. Adds 250. I need the ladders. They're round bales. I got to have the ladders. So we'll have to buy that 9,250. Okay, that leaves 20,645, which is enough to get these two, the front-mounted one and the side-mounted one together, just. I buy that one for 9,000 there. And I buy the front-mounted one there for 11 there. That leaves us with $645. We've bought everything tonight so that we've got it all. Everything is now ready. We've got all of it. There, look at that. Look at it all lined up, ready to go, so that we're then able to do all of the jobs that we want to do without having to worry about it. And yes, I am using an auto-load trailer rather than going and picking them up with the grab, because I don't really want to be picking them all up with the grab. It's one thing that I am going to do, and I'm not going to apologize for it in the slightest. No, not apologizing. I'm going to do it like that, just because I want to. Right, now, in theory, we should be able to just plonk that one down. Like that. And it should go and cultivate absolutely beautifully. I'm hoping, really hoping, I should really disable the realistic ground mod, I think. Between now and next episode, I will do that. I'll get rid of that one. Because I don't particularly like the way that it bounces quite so excessively. Although I am on ploughed ground, so I suppose that... We'll see what it's like when we start the seed drilling, if we're able to do the seed drilling in today's episode. I don't think we will. Well, we can see what it's like. We're doing... it's fertilizer spreading that we're doing next anyway. So we'll see what it's like when we do that. I'm going to do a few rounds on the field, and then we'll put some hired help going, and we'll see how they cope. As long as they don't drive into the lake, everything will be good. And I'll be happy. If they do drive into the lake, I'm not going to be quite so cheerful about it. Really, well, at the moment, we cannot afford for them to drive into the lake. The only thing, well, we have other tractors we can use, so we do have other options. But I quite like doing it like this. I like the fact that we've got this one going. And I'd like to be able to keep using this one. So, there we go. We are now actually doing our cultivating. It's getting close to night time. And we're soon going to need to skip through some time. But what I'm hoping is to do the fertilizer and the seed drill today. We'll do fertilizer and seed drill before nightfall, and then we will start. We will fast forward through the night, or to the first growth stage, and then we can put some more fertilizer on. Actually, we'll do the seed. We'll do the drilling. We'll put fertilizer on, and we'll do the drilling, and then I think we may even be able to get some more fertilizer on after that. So then we've only got to do one lot of fertilizer during a growth stage, which would make it a little bit easier because. Also, we've got to keep in mind that we don't have the money for care wheels. Or no, care wheels won't really matter. Not on grass. Care wheels are not going to make a huge difference. I was thinking of crops for a minute, but no, it's not really going to matter like that. So we're on round 2 already. The 4-meter width is definitely going to make it's going to make a difference on here. And I'm hoping it will also do the same with the seed drilling as well. It's just going to it's a small quality of life improvement. It has cost us a few thousand for the couple of implements that we've got, but I still think it was worth it because we're going to be using these quite a bit, aren't we? Or at least that's the theory behind it. We're hoping to turn this into a working farm. It's not just a forestry that we're building here. And I'm not like planning on planting a load of extra trees anytime soon. I'm thinking once more all the way round, and then I start the hired help going. I might even just start the hired help going up here in a second. And then that one can just like work. I could even I was going to say I could get the hired help going and then run off and get the fertilizer spreader and start that one working, but no, we don't want to do that. We want to work our way all the way through it. I am going to be using the hired help for doing different jobs, but I don't know how many. The shadows are getting longer. No, I don't think that they've played with the light on this map at all. But I mean, I guess it's because it is now 6 o'clock in the evening, so shadows are going to draw out a little bit. And it does do that with the base game, doesn't it? It draws your shadows out a little tiny bit, so yeah, I think that's alright. We come on round here and up this side. This is the bit that I'm a little bit concerned about when it comes to the hired help. Is it going to try to turn into the lake when we do this bit here? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down there in a fairly straight line so that I don't actually have that much sort of stuck behind over there, and I'm going to do an extra couple of passes down here so that I definitely don't have anything driving into the lake from this end. It's this end that would be the most concerning end. So long as this end is alright, I think it'll be okay. At least that's the theory. I know I should probably be lifting this at the ends like that, because this type of cultivator, you don't really want to be turning with it too much, but it'll be alright. I'm sure it'll be fine. So let's just drop that one in there like that. And we'll run along here. I don't think I need to worry too much about doing any more. If I just run up there, then I'm going to put the hired help going. I'm going to run the risk. Hopefully, Mr. Hired Help is going to be able to cope with this. I'm going to put it sort of about that point, and it should, in theory, if I press H... Nope, I don't want you. Definitely don't want you. Take you off of the AI vehicle extension, and we'll go for normal AI, like that. It does not have multi-angle terrain. It has just regular angled terrain, so it'll go in dead straight lines. That's another thing. With the Farming Simulator 19, Are they going to have any kind of multi-angle terrain in that, or are they just going to be the dead straight lines that we're used to in this one? I'm genuinely torn on which I want on that one. Now, what are you going to do? You're going out that way. That's fine. You're reversing up. Again, that's okay. You haven't decided to drive into the lake yet. It's not done anything stupid there, but whether it will when it goes down the other side, that's kind of our big question now. So, we've got a little bit of hired help going on. The great thing about the hired help is that it does run quite well on the edges. As long as the machine is set right on the edges, it will also run quite well on the edges. So that's good. But yeah, are we going to be having multi-angle terrain, or has it got the regular 4-angle terrain that we're used to? I think it's 8. I think it's actually 8. It's classed as 8-angle terrain or something along those lines. It seems to turn okay if we give it that roughly that amount of space. Seems to turn okay, and I'm quite happy with that. I'm more than happy to leave it with that amount of space. And do I just leave this going and go and get some fertilizer now, so that we've got hired help? The problem with hired help, as you can see in the top right hand corner, is that it does use money. The money is now ticking down. I've never had this as a problem before. I've never considered it to be any kind of issue. I'm quite happy for the money to tick down while I'm using the hired help, because you've got to pay him something, and I like using hired help. It's just a lot easier than doing it all myself. But it is expensive. It does cost the money. I think it'll be alright. Yeah, actually, I can. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and I'm going to get the fertilizer spinner on. We're going to switch over to this one now. This one's going to do the fertilizing. We'll leave that machine here, and we get that fertilizer going, because we can fertilize both lots. We can fertilize both on the cultivated area and the non-cultivated area, and it's going to just count as one lot of fertilization. Then we can plant the... Right, I need to lower that down. Once we've done that, then we can plant the grass in the field, and after doing the planting, we can then quickly throw on one more lot of fertilizer, and then we've only got one left to do after that. It's kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen. Now, also, I'm really hoping that the JCB doesn't decide to go and turn at the other end and do it wrong this time. Hopefully it'll be fine. Do it all correctly and we won't have any issues. At least that's the theory. Now, let's back you up. There we go. We're going to lower that one down, and we're doing this with a bucket. That's all we're doing. We just lower that one down like that, and then we start filling it up. So all we're doing is we've got a bucket there, and we're just sort of spooning the stuff across straight into the bucket without any problems, without any issues. So nobody's going to worry about that. And, of course, the big question now is, can I spread the fertilizer across this field with what we've got? Can I fertilize this field with just the fertilizer that we have? Am I going to... I think we're going to be all right with it. We've got a little bit of bounce still, but it's not too bad. We can come on round here. So I think I've got it roughly right. We'll use... twin wheels does actually fit this quite nicely. We're running over the cultivated land, so we really don't want to be compacting this any more than we've absolutely got to. Not on this, because we're about to come over with a seed drill after this. You probably wouldn't do it like this. If you were going to do it, you'd do it with the... right, I've got to stop right there a minute. Let him come back through. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. No, he's not. He's okay. He's turned sufficiently. We'll have to watch that. That is quite a big turn that we can... that we're going to need there once we get the seed drill going. That'll be in our next episode. We're actually going to be planting in our next episode. We're not going to be planting today because we're nearly done today, but we are actually going to be doing some planting in our next episode, and that, I think, is just fabulous. So we'll have the planting done. We'll have got the fertilizer. We've done one layer of fertilizer, and we'll have the planting done. We'll get another layer of fertilizer done on that, and then all we're going to have left after that is... yeah, one more layer of fertilizer and then waiting for it to grow. Of course, depending on how much fertilizer I get on now, will depend on whether or not I need to buy another bag of fertilizer. Not sure if I do or not. Bring this one over this way. Right. Send you off around here. I'm going to try and do this by hand rather than using hired help to do the fertilizer, just because I think it might be better. And also, it's the money. It will end up costing us quite a bit of money if I try and do this with hired help. I could use the GPS mod to do this. The GPS mod would actually work quite nicely for this job as well. It's the perfect tool for it. But I'd like to avoid doing that as well if I can. So we'll come along here. And yeah, he's going to be alright, as long as he doesn't back into the lake in that corner. Which I've got confidence, well, I'm vaguely confident in him. I'm not completely 100% confident, but I'm vaguely confident that he should be alright. I am a little bit nervous about it. Little tiny bit, because of the incredibly expensive consequences. Right, that's the bit that I'm worried about, is the rather hideously expensive consequences if it goes wrong. Because we cannot do anything about it. We'll literally just have to buy a new machine. That's what I've said. We can sell the old one from the bottom of the lake as kind of like scrap, so we get some of the money back, but we can't get all of the money back. That is our rules that we've set for this playthrough. So if we lose a machine, that's what we got to do. If we can't recover a machine, so we've got to recover the machine ourselves. If we drive it later on, I mean, obviously we're not staying on this series long enough to sort of worry about that, but if we were staying on this series long enough to worry about that, if we drove it off a bridge and then we were able to actually rescue said machine, we'd be alright. But if we weren't able to physically rescue it ourselves, resetting the machine is not an option. We can sell it direct and then buy it new again, but I've already said no, we're not allowed to reset any machines, which makes me, I am genuinely nervous about working in this area here next to this lake because of that. I didn't think about that before we started with the whole, you know, being right next to the lake. It could cause us problems. If I had thought about that, maybe I would have carved our first field a little bit further away from where we are, maybe to the north of the garage or something. But I didn't think about it, so this is what we've got. I've missed a strip there. Move over a little bit. There we go. Go like that. I'm still bouncing around a bit, but not as much as I was. There. We'll just keep going like this. We don't need to worry too... Well, we are sort of overlapping with the other one as well, so we can switch that one off there. And then come back up here. 2 more passes. The fertilizer will be finished. The cultivating is doing really well, and that is almost finished. We're making some seriously good progress. We'll have to finish the cultivating in our next episode, but we've at least managed to get this one done in this episode, which I'm very pleased about. I am absolutely delighted about that. Let's swing you on in round there and get that last one going there. And then that's going to be it. So we'll call it quits for today, and then we'll come back in our final episode this week, where we should be able to get this done and get the planting done, and hopefully even the first growth stage grown. We have 300 litres left. We'll drive around and we'll see what we've got left in the way of fertilizer. We might have to buy more. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. We will just quickly drive over here and see what we do have in the way of fertilizer. The only way that we can actually get more fertilizer is if we go and sell a bit of wood chips. I'm hoping, though, that we would have enough. I don't know. I know we're not going to, are we? We're not going to have enough, because it's not 2,000 litres in a thing. It's only 1,000 litres in a thing. We do need one more lot. We're going to need to buy more wood chip. More fertilizer. Right. What we'll have to do in the beginning of next episode is, while that one's still working, we'll have to load up a link box or hitch on a link box and go and sell a few of the wood chips, just so as we can get just enough money to be able to buy one more pallet of fertilizer, which is $1,600. I mean, I could always just cut down a tree and do it that way. That might be the way to do it. We'll see. Anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.